Hey everyone, PL Stewart here, and I am back with another one of these spontaneous reviews. It is a Wednesday, and I am off work, so I thought I would pop one of these on. So today, the book I'm planning to talk about is All the Seas of the World by none other than Guy Gavriel Kay. Um, Guy Gavriel Kay is a highly lauded, award winning Canadian author. This is an author who has a lot of gravitas, and in terms of his ability to write prose that is just stunning. Um, some great credentials from this author. This is an author who, for example, when Christopher Tolkien, the son of J.R. Tolkien, he wanted someone to edit his father's unpublished books. Um, Gabriel Kay was the person selected. Gabriel Kay was studying philosophy at in a Canadian university, and so Kay actually like relocated to Oxford in England to help Christopher Tolkien edit the Silmarillion, and obviously, the Silmarillion is one of Tolkien's masterclass works. So Guy Gabriel Kay, he's someone who most of his novels they're inspired and essentially alternates of real world places. They're fictional settings, obviously, but they very much resemble the real world during specific historical points in history. So he really knows how to bring life to these settings. Um, he creates his own historical context, so to speak. A lot of his settings are in Asia and Europe. Very much, he likes, I think, that the Eastern settings predominantly um, feels very Renaissance in terms of the era. You have um, major religions, including Judaism and Islam, um, that figure prominently in terms of how they're mimicked or mirrored in his books. Countries such as England, Spain, France, Italy, they're all part of his what I believe inspires his work. Now, this book and most of his books are generally set in a certain universe, and there's a book called The Brightness Long Ago, and the other one is Children of Earth and Sky. That a lot of people recommend reading before this book. I did not read those books before reading this book, so now I don't believe I missed out. I thought that I was able to certainly pick up on how important the characters seem to be, and perhaps I was missing out a bit in terms of the overall context. But I definitely plan to read those books as well. I plan to read everything by Guy Gavriel Kay. So I don't think it diminished my enjoyment. I love this book. That said, I know it's recommended that you read those books before you read it. And I think as this is one of his most recent books, this was published, I believe, so 2023. This was published. That said, it's 2022. Apologies. That said, it's one of his more recent books, and he has some incredible novels. Lines of Alrasan is probably one of his most known books. Tigana, um, the Serentine Mosaic, and I mentioned Children of Earth and Sky and A Brightness Long Ago. So he has some fantastic novels, and definitely recommend you check them out. Now, this book, um, okay, let's just start with the prose. Of course, that's what he's known for. Those of you who know me know that that is my gateway to enjoyment of a book is the prose. I do prefer the elevated stuff. And Guy Gabriel Kay is just, he's in the top echelon for me of authors who write great prose. Perhaps it wasn't as lofty and as elevated as some of the other books I've read by him, but it was still damn good. So that alone, gets this book pretty well to the 4-star level, and it was a 5-star for me. Um, it is it is something that you know GGK could do no wrong with me in terms of the way he writes. Knowing that, I knew I was going to enjoy this book, and I definitely did. Um, the book, well, it focuses on two main characters. They're actually involved in this, they're actually part of an assassination plot. One of them is female, one of them is male. So the male, well, let me preface this by saying both these characters are coping with a lot of issues. So the male has been exiled in the past as a young child from his home, and that affects him. Being displaced affects his outlook on the world. The woman was kidnapped as a child and sold into slavery. So both of them are coping with the traumatic events from their past, and they've been brought together to work together in this rather nefarious plot to assassinate someone, a high-profile individual. So, without giving away any spoilers, that's the essence of what the book is about. It was phenomenal. I found that with this book in particular, compared to maybe some of Kay's other books, which are a bit longer, this certainly packed a punch in a much smaller package than some of his previous books. Um, it is the themes of this book I loved. That's one thing, and normally I talk about characters first, but the themes in here really struck me. The themes about um, what you can achieve if you're willing to go beyond your limits. What aspect does fortune and luck play in your fate? And should you be guided by your ambition? What kind of restriction should be on your ambition? Um, it also, one of the big themes was, justice was a big theme, and security, and what should you give up to obtain those things. Um, War, that was another big theme. That war and chaos, it creates issues for people that last long past the actual events. And I would definitely say that to a certain degree that both of the characters are experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder from the things that I mentioned that have occurred since they were younger, and then the things that they get involved with later that create a lot of conflict. I did love we're talking about characters. I did love the friendship and teamwork dynamic between these two characters. That was fantastic, and to see their relationship develop. Um, it was something that really struck me in that um, they started off. It was more about mutual respect for each other's abilities and very much a friendship, and again, almost like a brother sister relationship. And there's another great sibling relationship in this book that I won't spoil. But yeah, this was fantastic. I thoroughly enjoyed this book. Um, the world building. It's of course this is borrowed from our past, right? In more antiquity. If you're someone like me who enjoys history, you can see that this portrays the issues and the plight of various religions, such as Muslim nations, uh, Christianity, the Jews, and also you'll see the fallout from things such as the Crusades. So this book was fantastic. I really did enjoy it. Again, I keep harping back to the prose, but Guy Gavriel is a master. He makes these incredible characters and gives us this beautiful setting. Um, and this book, I had a great time with. I do plan to read, as I said, everything by this author. He's quickly become one of my go-tos and one of my favorites. This is the first review I've done on his work. I read a couple of his books when I was a bit younger, and I never bothered to do reviews. That wasn't a priority then. But now that I'm more or less blogging and do reviews, whatever I read by him, I definitely plan to review, either a full written review and or a review on video. So maybe a combination thereof. So that essentially is my quick review of All the Seas, the World by Guy Gavriel. This was a great book, one I thoroughly enjoyed, and I plan to read everything by this author. So, and I recommend, if you like fantasy that feels like historical fantasy and is inspired by the real world, especially set in essentially a Renaissance type period. And if you love really compelling characters, so really enthralling themes, and if you love some great prose, the way I do, then this is definitely a book for you. All right, everyone, thanks so much for listening. Take care, and I'll probably knock off another review at some time today. But other than that, I will see you next time.